Hey there friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Danielle. For those of you who are brand new around here, I love to talk all about affordable living and intentional homemaking. And today on the channel, I wanted to do actually a pretty simple video, but something that I think will be very helpful for you guys if you are in the middle of planting your garden or like harvesting things from your garden for the summer season. So we are going to make a very easy basil pesto recipe. So let's get into that video. So I don't know about you guys, but we just got through a pretty horrendous heat wave around here. I live in the northeast of the United States, and it has been nearly 100 degrees for the past like 5-6 days now. It's been incredibly hot. And I had a ton of basil and a bunch of other herbs in our garden box right next to the house. And in the past week, we went from at the beginning of the week, the herbs kind of being ready to be harvested, to all of a sudden growing so fast because of the heat that they were getting ready to bolt at the top. And if you let your herbs, any of them kind, really go to seed and bloom, they start to get incredibly bitter. So I wanted to go outside this morning, and all of the pieces that definitely started to bolt, I cut all of those back, and then I harvested a ton of our basil that we had planted in the garden box. I actually showed you guys me planting this a couple of months ago. I think it was maybe like a month and a half ago. The fun thing is this basil that is just so prolific right now was this incredibly like tiny basil that we had gotten for about 99 cents at Produce Junction. It was falling apart. It looked horrible, but we nursed it back to life. It looks amazing now. It is huge, and I needed to chop off all that basil and do something with it so that it didn't all go to waste. So I decided to make some delicious basil pesto. We like to make pesto pizza for dinner sometimes around here, and use pesto for a couple of other different fun recipes. So then it'll be really nice to put together a nice little bit for the house just to have on hand. So let's get into the actual preparing and how to of making our basil pesto. So I washed up all my basil, make sure all the little critters got off of it, and then the next thing that I'm going to do is let that dry out for just a minute. And while that is drying, I actually also harvested some fresh oregano, which just smells absolutely to die for. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to separate it into little bundles with some twine and hang it upside down from my window that I have like a bunch of plants that I keep fresh on my windowsill as well. So I'm going to take care of that right now while that is drying, and then I'm going to continue on with my pesto making. The best part of growing your own herbs and then drying them out is once they're fully dried out, then I can kind of get them off of the stem and then put them in a jar to be preserved for the rest of the season. I don't have to worry about going outside and getting fresh oregano because I have some oregano already kind of dried out and waiting to be used for any of my fall and winter dishes. Now, as somebody that has had herbs for quite a long time, I've been growing them in our garden for several years now, I know that you're supposed to hang them upside down to dry. However, don't ask me why that is. I'm not actually sure. I just know that that's just what you're supposed to do. So I follow the rules and I try to do that with all of my different herbs, and it always comes out really good. And like I said, it only takes a little while for them to dry out, like maybe just a few days. And then I can just grab this bundle and literally pull them off of the stalk and throw them straight into a meal. Or I could chop them up fresh, either or. That's the thing I love about like fresh herbs and just growing your own herbs in general. They're so prolific. Our oregano box, we have like this little planter box that is technically portable. Like I could pick it up and move it if I wanted to. I planted the oregano in that, I want to say 6 or 7 years ago now. And it comes back every single year. I've never had to like rebuy it or do anything to it really. It is self-sustaining on its own, which is so nice, especially if you're talking about living affordably and wanting to have some fresh or your own dried herbs in your stash. A great way to do that is with just planting some herbs outside that will come back year after year. And oregano is definitely one of the ones that does that. We have that planted, mint, and some parsley. All those come back year after year, which is really nice. Alright, now that my basil is fully dried out, what I'm going to do is de-stem all of the basil. And I have my food processor out, so I'm going to put the equivalent of about-ish 2 cups of basil into my food processor, packed in really tightly, really nicely. Any leaves that I sort of missed when I was getting all of the sort of rattier leaves off when I was washing it originally, I'm just gonna leave them on. We have so much basil harvested that it's really not going to change the amount that I have in here to make the pesto properly. Okay, so I like to come in and just get all the sides clean. Any leaves that got left on the sides, we take that down, we put the lid back on, and we do one more spin. Hit that button. So one of the things that I learned in making pesto over the years is you really can't over mix the pesto. And what I mean by that is if you have it on really high, I'll give you a spoon in just a second. So one of the things that I've learned over the years about making pesto is you really can't overmix it. So I have found that it is better to let it kind of ride for a few more minutes rather than cut it off a little bit early, and then you get really big chunks of basil in your pesto. I tend to like it a little bit more blended in, so I let it mix for at least, I don't know, 2 to 3 minutes, maybe a little bit more. Like I said, you can't overmix the pesto. So it's all mixed up now, and we are going to give it a try. Yeah, put your spoon in.
I put it on fire.
Oh, you're getting it off the start? Oh my gosh, that's so good. That tastes so fresh. Yeah, here, I'm gonna do this. Try some. What do you think? Well, I don't want you to eat the whole spoon. Good? Mm-hmm. We can make some green pizza later.
This?
Yeah, with the pesto. You like it? Is it good? You did a good job? Teamwork. So I'm gonna be putting this into a mason jar and then sticking it in the fridge, but I can also take a batch of it and put it into the freezer as well. It keeps really well in the freezer. So yeah, that's pretty much the whole thing from start to finish. How to make basil pesto from scratch. If you like this video, definitely give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comments below what you like to make with your fresh herbs in the summertime. I love to get some new ideas from you guys. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you are brand new, and I will be back next Sunday with a brand new video. We have some very exciting updates coming to you guys really soon, so definitely stay tuned for all of those, and I will see you really soon. Have an amazing week, my friends. Bye!